Hey guys, so
Bet she doesn't touch like me. Sure as hell don't fuck like me.
So basically I just figured that I would just record a few videos for you guys, a few story times, because I'm literally like in ATL at Cumberland Mall. My phone has some issues, so I had to bring my iPhone to the Apple store, so they told me to come back in an hour. So I'm basically just sitting in the car just waiting for my phone. So why not get some content, get some content, because I basically like literally can't go nowhere. I don't have a phone, I don't have a GPS, I'm not from ATL, so I don't know where this is, where that is, whose house is this, who's whatever. So I literally like have to like literally sit here. It's either sit here or I had to go back in the mall and sit in the Apple store, which I wish I actually would have brought my laptop, because I would have been uploading videos and editing. But anyway, alright, so I figured that I would tell you guys about the time that I found out I was pregnant with my son. Alright, so here we go. Alright, so I met my son's dad when I was my first year of college, and I went to a community college. I honestly wanted to go away to college, but I don't know why I didn't. I think like I couldn't afford it. I don't know what it was, and I ain't have no scholarships or anything like that. Nah. So I kind of just was like, let me just go to the local community college. If anything, I'll just transfer out, whatever the case is, and go away to college. I really wish that I had experience going away to college, because it would have been lit. Nah, but yeah, I really wish that I would have experienced this. So anybody watching this video, if you're young, make sure you go away to college. Even if you experience it and you realize that it's not for you, if you can afford it, or you got a full scholarship, or like your parents could definitely afford it, I would say at least experience it and see how you like it. Some people like really turn up really big going away to college, and they really like learn things about adulthood and things like that. So things that like parents can't really teach you, you gotta actually like kind of learn on your own. So I would say just experience it, and if you don't like it, hey, come back, go to a local community college. If you like it, live it up, sis. Do your thing. Just make sure you keep your head in the books. But anyway, so yeah, so we met in a community college, and I'm trying to take something on my shoe, and it was cool or whatever. We started dating or whatever, and then like maybe like months later after we started, but yeah, so months later we started engaging. Don't do at home, don't do this, it's trouble. And then more months later, it was kind of like, this is kind of personal, basically like he wanted me to take Plan B pills every time. Yeah. And at first I was like really doing it. I was like really taking Plan B pills like almost every other day, and it was just like, I think at that time I didn't have insurance, so I couldn't get birth control, and which really sucks in New York. It's just like ridiculous, because it's just like so many abortions happen every day, and something so simple as birth control, I really think that it should be free, honestly, because it's just so ridiculous. Like, people want to control birth, so therefore why not allow them to for free, instead of having these abortions and people going through things and stress and traumatic situations. Like, why? It's just ridiculous. But anyway, the world we live in. So yeah, so I was taking Plan B pills like very often, and then after a while I was just like, this can't be good, and I started looking it up, and it was basically like, do not use it as a birth control method. Like, you can't, like, don't do that, like, it's gonna ruin like a lot or whatever. Like, I started doing a lot of research, and I really started like looking into 37. I really started looking into what it could do to your body, and having kids in the future, and this, that, and the third. And I told him, like, listen, I'm not taking no more Plan B pills. Like when I already applied for health insurance. Like, when I get health insurance, then we could talk about certain things with birth control methods and stuff like that. But in the meantime, like, yeah, I'm gonna have to strap up or whatever. So basically, like, I don't know, like one time he didn't, and you know, we just had a wonderful birth out of that. So yeah, we got a wonderful surprise. So then it was kind of like, oh my gosh, like first off, I didn't even know, like it was just time going by. Like at that time I didn't have a period tracker, I didn't have a calendar stating when my period was gonna come, this, that, and the third. Like I said, I was like 21 years old, I was in college, I was, you know, doing this, doing that, studying, and you know, being a 21-year-old, running around parties, drinking, and you know, but I was still into my books. I was still into my books and work, especially. Like I had a full-time job, overtime on the weekends, and you know, a lot. So I didn't even realize that my periods didn't come. And then it was he had told me like, oh, I think you're pregnant. And I was just like, what do you mean? And he's like, you're gaining weight. And then he was like, and you're like really eating everything, like you never really eat like that. And like at that time, like I was like really skinny, like my entire life I was basically like really skinny or whatever. So for me to actually be gaining weight, it was like a little weird. So I guess he realized it, I didn't really realize it. And then he was like, I think you should take a test or whatever. And then I was just like, okay. So then like the next day I had took a test, he was at work, I took a test, whatever, and it was actually positive. And I remember my mom saying something like, oh, you should go to the hospital and take a blood test because cancer rings off, like cancer basically rings off positive pregnancy tests. Like, so if I had cancer and I peed on a stick, it would come up positive. So I'm just like, cancer, really? Great. Okay, thanks, Mom. So I went to the hospital and I did a blood test and it was positive, and then I told him, and it was just kind of like, whoa, like our life, our worlds were shooketh. Because literally, like I was living at home with my mom and my two sisters, and he was living at home with his mom, and it was just like, what's gonna happen? What are we gonna do? And it was just like a lot at one time. And it was just like a lot of decisions that had to be made in a short period of time. And we were still young, and you know, so it was just like, whoa. Whoa. So eventually, like, we got it together. We just gave ourselves a 9-month, you know, time frame or goal. We started saving. I remember, like, literally, like, we would put $100 in like this box that I had like every week. And like that's how we would save, and we would just save and save and save and save like $100 every week, $100 every week, like. And it actually turned out not to be as bad as a lot of people really said that it would be. Like a lot of people was really not, honestly, I'm gonna say this, not a lot of people. It was one specific person, and I'm not even gonna say who you are, you know who you are if you're watching this. It was one specific person that was really down my back, that was like texting me every single day, harassing me, calling me while I'm in class, and all of this stuff, really trying to change my mind about having my son. And basically it was just like, oh, like she was pulling up statistics online, basically saying like, oh, to raise a child it takes this amount of dollars per year, and you have to be making at least this much to raise a child comfortably, and just really harassing me and stressing me out. So it's just like, I'm already stressed out because I just found out that I'm 21 and I'm pregnant, and you're stressing me out even more and trying to force me into getting an abortion because you, I don't know how this was your business, but basically like you're trying to talk me into doing that. And it's just like you're sending me all of this stuff, like I'm gonna read it and be like, you have a point there, maybe, you know what, maybe I shouldn't do this. So it was just kind of like, that was stressful as well. So yeah, so that was like really the only person that was really like making it seem like it was this big crazy job and you needed a shitload of money to have a kid and this, that, and that. And I'm not promoting anything like that, and I'm not promoting anything in terms of like, oh, maybe you should have a kid, oh, kids are not that expensive and this, that, and that. I'm not promoting that, because you really have to mentally be prepared, physically be prepared, and you honestly, the biggest thing of all, you have to have a support system. Because if you literally don't have a support system, like it can be very, very, very hard and very stressful. So therefore I had a support system when I was pregnant and my son growing up. My 2 sisters and my mom, and they helped me out a lot. My aunt helped me out a lot, and my son's dad's grandmas, like grandmas and aunts, they really helped me out a lot. Like I could literally, if I had to work or anything, I could like literally drop my son off on the weekends, and like he would go to church with them, and like I could ask my mom, can she babysit or whatever the case is, or she could come to my house, or my sisters, and like short notice. Like I really had like a huge support system. So that was one of the reasons why it wasn't as hard for me. So I'm like very blessed for that. So everything wound up working out though. Literally for my baby shower I got everything like that I needed, to the point where I had to take, like I had 3-4 strollers, 3-4 car seats, clothes, this, that, and the third, to the point where I had to go back to like Babies R Us and like return a lot of things. And I got a lot of stuff on, like they put the balance on a gift card for the things I returned, and I literally had like over like $3,000 on a gift card, including one of everything that my son needed. So I literally was like blessed when it came to that, because I know a lot of people do struggle, and I know a lot of people like have a hard time with raising a kid and, you know, things like that. So I was honestly really blessed when it came to the friends that I had, and working at a restaurant, being a server, and I had a strong support system. And you know, people have cash and they have tips and they give you envelopes, and you know, it's just like, you know, people love you, and you know, they just support you and they just wish you well. So I really like really like got over on that part. So everything worked out. I wound up moving into my first apartment. It was a 1-bedroom. It was amazing. Everything really worked out. So that was like my first experience, like my baby. Well, my only experience, only kid. But yeah, like that was my experience having a baby at 21 years old. And that's really it, guys. If you have any questions, concerns, or anything, any young moms out there that want, you know, need any questions answered, any brands, anything that you want to know about, let me know. Just hit me up, let me know. And let me say this before I leave, Poshmark is a great app to use when it comes to selling old things and baby things and stuff that you don't need, because I use Poshmark and I literally like sold at least like $2,000 worth of stuff on there. But anyway, I'm gonna see you guys in the next video. Holla at me, aight?